And just like that, we are back with chapter 59 of the universe according to Mugsy. Today is Friday, February 14th, 2025. I am Mugsy the Creator, and today we have a podcast for men. A podcast for men on Valentine's Day, because I woke up and I was disgusted. I was disgusted by a lot of the things that I saw on the internet today. Oh, and some of it in real life too. I'm just so reminded of how much I am disgusted with this day, this Valentine's Day creation, and who knows exactly where it came from. But right now it is gross. How did we get here? How did we get here? Well, I had to be grateful. That's the lesson you need to learn. Anytime that you do not like the emotion that you're feeling, you have to be grateful for what you have, because what I immediately realized, my life is better than yours. That's why you're listening to me and I'm not listening to you, is because my life is better than yours, and that's why you're taking my advice. It's a pretty nice insight to have on Valentine's Day, February fucking 14th, this day that means literally nothing to me. It means nothing to me. It means nothing to my wife. I'm so grateful for that, because when you truly have something, you don't need to fucking rub it in everybody's face. You're not waiting for that day to come along so you can rub it in people's face. And in fact, I didn't even realize it was Valentine's Day. I just went on the internet and I was just disgusted by the Instagram stories. Just disgusted by why is everybody posting a picture of their significant other with this fucking gross caption? All these women that are doing this, and then I came across a man doing it. And I was like, what's going on here? And then light dawns on Marblehead. Oh, it's February 14th. It's Sucker Day. Today we get to see who all the suckers are. And I was so thankful I was not a sucker. All right? Because I have a little bit of foresight. This foresight comes through in actually having a strong relationship with the woman that I care about. So I get her flowers from time to time, and I spend time with her. I listen to her, and I actually try and help her and make her laugh and make sure she knows she's loved. So I don't get caught up in this dick measuring contest, because what I can see about a man, it's just so obvious. When you guys that work in offices, you should be able to see this. The guy that's the biggest asshole got his wife the biggest bouquet. That's always how it works. There's a seemingly direct correlation on how that goes. Big asshole, big bouquet. And the women that are putting these pictures on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're doing it, like, we don't know that your man's a piece of shit, and now today you're proud of him? That's bullshit. We all know he gets a blowjob from Karen every Tuesday behind the fucking John Hancock Tower. You know that too. That's why you fucking hate him. That's why you hate him 364 days a year, except for today, where you feel this compulsion to post it on the internet so that you don't feel excluded in this weird love consumer good that's being sold on the internet, so you can get the likes and the clicks and the fake energy love, because your life isn't enough on all the other days, because you know he's getting a blowjob every Tuesday behind the John Hancock building. Oh, ain't that the shit? And then there's one guy here who I'm not talking to, because there's just no helping some people, right? The guy that is posting the pictures himself of him and his significant other because she told him to, or she makes him feel like that is a necessary part of the day. That man is so lost. He is so out there. He's like fucking Pluto, man, gone out there, lost. There's nothing I can do for him. There's nothing I can say to get through to him. That is the tail wagging the dog. The only hope that man has is if that woman hopes that she can wag another better looking, richer dog. And let's cut you fucking loose so that you can fucking finally see through all the bullshit, because the real wisdom, not in seeing things, but in seeing through them. When people post these fucking stories, you have to realize, oh yeah, these are broken human beings. These are people that realize that February 14th, Valentine's Day, is a consumer holiday, and ha ha ha, but I still want the chocolates, and I still need the flowers. I still want to post a picture on the internet, and I need to make sure Sally sees that my fucking husband has taken a picture with me in the last year, and I need everybody to comment on it, and you better fucking like it too. You better like it too. That is an unbelievably insecure individual. All right? If you're a man and you're just realizing this, you need to cut yourself loose from that. You need to remove that ball and chain before it locks you down for good, okay? And then you're just fucked, because how did we get here? It's not like we just fucking woke up one day in this hellscape that we exist in. It took a long time to get here. And since we're including women, I would like to give women precisely half the blame for this shit. Precisely half the blame. Now, you started getting half the blame sometime around 1920 when they passed that 19th Amendment, and that gave you the right to fucking vote. And all of a sudden, we let you out of the kitchen, and we let you start talking and reading the newspaper and having fucking opinions on things, and that's because they killed a bunch of strong men in World War I, and we were weak. That's what we were. We were truly fucking weak. But then these women, they left the kitchen and they started reading the fucking newspapers without realizing they were all propaganda. Next thing you know, we're in World War II, destroying Europe and getting rid of some of the rest of the strong men that existed in this country so that we could be broken down to a place where we said women should start going to school too. And there was this idea of feminism implanted in the United States of America through the Central Intelligence Agency. And they further divided the home. Because now they were able to multiply their workforce by 2. Because they convinced those stupid broads to get out of the kitchen enjoying their life so much because they wanted to contribute to the economic machine, which was actually destroying the nature of their existence. So I precisely blame you for half of that shit, because what came next? What came next? They rug pulled us on our currency in 1970, right? Were you women, you feminists, were you fucking paying attention during the 60s? Or were you out there doing drugs and having sex and pretending that you were educated? Because they rug pulled our entire currency on us by pulling the gold back. And I don't blame you for all of it. I blame you for 50 fucking percent. 50 fucking percent is what I blame you for. Not all of it, because what came fucking next? What came next? A cycle of deregulation and fucking structuralization that led to monopolies and corruption that ruined this fucking country, and it allowed us to become so divided that we were divided in our household now by our sexuality. We voted this communist Barack Obama into office, and in 2012, he signed the Smith-Mundt Remodernization Act. And that allowed our government to finally start propagandizing us full time. And from 2012 until today, we went through 12 years of cultural war. There was a culture war, and who was that culture war on? It was on the strong men in our community. And you know what I used to be called? Before 2012, when I would offer advice to people, they would say, here's a smart man. Here's a smart man doing a good thing, providing his knowledge to someone that doesn't have the knowledge around him to help them better themselves in society. You know what they said after 2012? Quit mansplaining. Quit mansplaining, you racist, you misogynist, you homophobe. Let the gay guy in the wheelchair talk. He's got one fucking arm. He's been vaccinated through his mind. He's got an opinion too. Let's make him president. Let's make him captain of the football team. Well, he can't play football. He's in a fucking wheelchair. Are you anti-handicapping? Are you ableist? Are you an ableist? That's what happened. That's what happened to this country. And now, as USAID is revealed to be one of the mechanisms and levers that has been behind the scenes rigging the game against anyone who spoke up. I see half the country defending it. It's aid for foreign nations. No, it's not. It's, in fact, not that at all. If you look into it, you will find out that it's not that. And if someone on television or in a newspaper told you it's something other than that, they are lying to you. Is that uncomfortable to hear? Is how we got here uncomfortable? Then how are you ever going to expect to be anywhere else? How are we ever going to be in a place where something good happens if we can't recognize the bad shit that's happening right in front of our face? And February 14th, 2025 is a great day to wake up. Why not? In your relationship, in your own consciousness, in your own life, in your political awakening. Today could be the day you go look into USAID and you realize, oh, our government's corrupt the whole time. This makes sense. It feels like this has been all of the programs that have been working against me in my individual life on a personal basis for the last 20 years. 12 years. For the last 12 years. Oh, it will make sense. And if it doesn't make sense to you and you're real pissed off, I understand if you're taking money from this organization and it's going to get cut off while you're mad. You are the only subclass of this whole thing that I have some compassion for. You guys, Seriously, I have no compassion for the people that have been getting ripped off and have been refusing to acknowledge they're getting ripped off because that's a sucker. All right? No more or less than that guy's a sucker with that woman who needs the biggest bouquet. All right? Because it's all the same thing. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? That's the question that the American people, a small portion, have been asking the whole time. So if I do have some compassion for somebody, it's going to be for the people that have been rigging the game the whole time. And now all of a sudden, they're the ones that are losing. Hey, what the fuck? We had a monopoly. Now you're taking our monopoly away? I should have some compassion for that guy because you're right. Today's going to be the worst day of your fucking life. It is. Today is going to be the worst day of your life. That's what happens when we rip open USAID. And the reason that I'm so particularly worried about this is because whatever Doge is, they're saying that they're going to go look at the military-industrial complex in the Pentagon next. What do you think we're going to find there, guys? Because if this upsets you, you're going to be really fucking pissed when you see what they've been doing with the Pentagon money. Do you remember the last time the Pentagon came out and said they lost money? Oh, this is a great one. Most people don't even know this story. Yeah. Donald Rumsfeld got in front of a bunch of microphones and he said that the Pentagon lost $2.5 trillion. And they were doing accounting to figure out where all of the money went. And they were doing that accounting inside of a building, World Trade Center Building 7 and the Pentagon. And unfortunately, less than 24 hours after that, there was an event. It was September 11, 2001. And unfortunately, 2 planes allegedly crashed into the World Trade Center towers. And then something also crashed into the Pentagon. It happened to go smack dab into the accounting office, which is nuts. And the backup servers and the rest of the financial data was located in Building 7 of the World Trade Center, which happened to fall down at free fall speed as if it were a demolition, although it was not struck by any plane. And it was a couple blocks away from the 2 towers that fell. So I'm not worried that those 2 things were related. Donald Rumsfeld coming out in 9/11. But if they're saying they're going to go look into the Pentagon now, I really hope there's not another 9/11 thing like that after. That would suck. That would be real bad. I would hate that. Because I'm a poor person. I'm a fucking slave. So the effects of those things are going to be the worst on me. So I have a significant incentive to prevent those things from happening. If I could, if only there was some way I could. I mean, if they were related, They can't be related, could they? I don't know. But regardless, it's just the conundrum that we seem to find ourselves in. There's a cognitive dissonance that has been pervasive in the United States citizens' consciousness that we must eradicate, lest it eradicate us. Because until the unconscious becomes conscious, it will control us, and we will call it fate. So the only option we have is to make the unconscious conscious. And that's what this USAID stuff is kind of revealing. Elon Musk compared it to thinking that you're going into an apple looking for a worm, and instead, the whole thing's worms. It's just all worms. There's no such thing as an apple. The whole thing is waste and rot. That kind of seems like the government that we have. Health and human services, right? As we are, look, I'm the first person to tell you, and I will continue to reiterate this. I will take a moment to pause whatever flow that we were on to continue to remind you that politicians are never going to fucking solve your problems. Only you are going to solve your problems. But I will be an optimist enough to say that what this administration is attempting to do seems like an authentic, honest effort at trying to change something. They could be trying to change something so that they can continue to rig the deck in a different way for themselves, to self-deal to themselves. But I'm going to try and remain optimistic because I am a fucking American. And I live in this country. And I want the best for this country and its citizens. All right? So I'm able to do that while recognizing that there's going to be a lot of things that stand in the way of RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and Elon Musk and anyone else that's appointed to any position in the cabinet or anyone else that's appointed to any special counsel. And it's some of the things that this should be a good thing, guys. This should be a great thing. Trying to reform a government that is the largest organization in the history of humankind. Can we pause and think about that for a second? How out of hand things have gotten? We have 900 military bases around the world, and we claim that we are not an empire. You want to know how we're an empire? USAID. All right, that is how we control and rig the deck and self-serve ourselves in every possible way. So anyone that is going to come out and try things a different way may yield us some better results. We can't know that unless we actually try. Shrinking the government is something we've never given any honest consideration to. And what Elon Musk claims to be able to do is reduce our government spending from $2 trillion to $1 trillion. Now, that is crazy. That's a massive reduction, about 50%. Can you take us back? Guess what year we have to go back to $1 trillion in government spending? Do you think that was the year 1950? And we've increased $1 trillion in spending over the last 70 years? Do you think it was 1980? We've done it in the last 40 years? Like, what do you think it is? Because it's only taken us back to 2017. Not even a decade ago, we've increased our spending $1 trillion. We're $36 trillion in debt. And we have nothing here, and we're giving away money left and right. That's all we're doing is giving money away. We might as well light it on fucking fire. And it's buying the capacity to keep us in this position because it is in the business of capacity building. USAID is the capacity the CIA and State Department use in their statecraft. When they need to get things done for the United States, things that are illegal, things that they are prevented from doing because of the Constitution of the United States, they exercise their capacity using the assets they've developed through USAID. That's how this whole game is set up. Now, I hope things change, right? That's what I'm ultimately looking for. But it doesn't really matter what I want. Change is coming no matter what. And when we actually consider what that means, It's unbelievable. It can have an unbelievable effect on your life. Now, some of you are not going to be able to understand the capacity of what I'm going to start discussing. Some of you will. If you are having trouble understanding, what I think you should do is eat healthy, breathe, and continue to laugh at yourself. That is the slow way of personal, individual human growth. All right? That's how we start to awaken. Eat healthy, breathe, and laugh at yourself so that the eating healthy provides the chemistry in your body necessary to slow your mind down enough to breathe and clear it. And laughing at yourself removes the egoic layer that prevents you from seeing yourself as you exist because you're judging yourself. You're trying to protect yourself from judgment. Now, understanding that the only constant is change in a larger context of the universe means that the planet Earth has moved different positions in space. That's interesting to think about. Now, when we put that in the construct of understanding that Earth has an atmosphere, an electromagnetic atmosphere, and that the sun's radiation is let in through this atmosphere, that at times is strengthened or weakened. So more or less ultraviolet radiation from the sun comes into our atmosphere. Now, this can all be reduced down to information. Sunlight is just information that we take in. It grows. It provides the codes necessary to grow the food that we eat, the trees that change our carbon dioxide into oxygen and refresh our planet to grow. Those come from the sun. And as the poles are shifting in Earth, the North Pole and the South Pole is moving. I don't know if you knew that. It's moving from its point. This is natural, but it's happening at an increased speed because from time to time, the poles may flip on Earth. That's something that's always been believed, but now we're just simply measuring it. What that means is our position in space is different. So we are receiving different information from the sun. The reduction in the electromagnetic atmosphere that surrounds Earth is providing different codes. It's always providing codes, but now the codes are coming in different. That's required for evolution. Many people believe that this is a time where we get to choose our own evolution. That is why we are being introduced to such concepts as extraterrestrials and UFOs and the idea of life on Mars. These things are being declassified because they're preparing us, right, for a potential where human beings leave planet Earth and their consciousness goes out into the solar system. That's an advancement in human capabilities. And we are only able to do so because we are receiving new codes that come in from the sun. They cause us to evolve. All of this is happening at the same time. Now, we are carbon-based. Human life is carbon-based because of what we eat and what we breathe, what is safe for us to consume. There are many theories of human evolution. One that I believe has been hijacked from humanity is Darwin's belief of evolution. I do not believe that theory. I believe that evolution is the process of going inside and choosing what we want to become. That is a theoretical difference that I have with Charles Darwin. And I think that his conception of evolution has been hijacked and expressed pervasively throughout our culture so that we cannot conceive of a different one where we have all of the capacity inside of ourselves, the codes inside of us, in our DNA to become whatever we want to be. We can understand this as humans only use 8 or 10% of their brain, right? They say that Einstein used a small percentage more, and that's why he was so brilliant. Now, what if we could not only do that with our brain, but also the DNA inside of us? An interesting scientific discovery, DNA and its ability to encode information. So perhaps evolution is the process of going inside of ourselves into our DNA and choosing how we express ourselves. This will be easier to understand when you start to see how we as humans are choosing to integrate technology into humanity now. The technology that we choose is different. Some people choose to wear glasses, some use a cane. Both of these are technological advancements that make us humanoid robots. Now, Neuralink will give us a silicone ability to connect our brain waves to external technology that gives us more power or a different power over reality in a different way. Some will continue down this choice of evolutionary expansion until they become silicon. Perhaps. Others may choose a different path. But this evolution, as it's happening, is something to think about because there is potential in our DNA codes expanding. Perhaps more than 2 DNA strands, 2 to 4. And perhaps that 2 to 4 means going from a carbon-based existence to a silicone-based existence that would be more useful for intersolar system travel. All right? That is the truth of where we're at now. So I always am curious about people that wear sunglasses and prevent themselves from receiving the codes into their eyes, which is just another way of saying, I cannot believe people do not enjoy getting sunlight in their eyeballs. There's nothing I love more than staring at the sun. In fact, there are, hundreds of ancient cultures that we know about that made a regular practice of staring at the sun. It was something that was celebrated. It was a fun exercise to do. Many people don't know that one of the ways that hospitals used to help heal people was take them out for sun baths. Yeah, they used to wrap them in linen. There's so many things that you don't know about. There's so many things that you may not be able to conceive. There's so much potential right here, but it only exists if we are able to discern progress, understand what true lack is and what we are lacking. When you see someone put up an Instagram story telling you about their love, maybe ask the question about why they're not doing something with that love right now. Why are you taking pictures about the person you love instead of enjoying spending time with them? Right? If it feels like our country is falling apart because everyone has no money, nobody has a job, there is no leadership, and we're at war constantly, maybe our government's corrupt. All right? And maybe if we go outside and get some sunlight, we're going to evolve into something that's even crazier than you could have ever imagined. And maybe that's why there was a certain group of people so intent on us not getting sunlight for a large portion of 2020, which USAID, we now know, funded the EcoHealth Alliance, which gave money to the Wuhan lab for I don't know, some experiments. This has been fun. I got a lot to do today myself. I have to go hang out with my buddy Tom, who's in town. He's doing a comedy show. So me and the wife are going to go check that out. You guys, some of you guys might be coming. Tom Segura. He's at the Garden. So we're going to go hang out with him for a while. And if there's an event or something crazy tragic happens at that event, then this has been the last broadcast. And this has been The Universe According to Mugsy. We only made it 59 chapters. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case at all, especially considering the stuff that I just laid out there, which I feel like was pretty good. But I don't know. I guess it all depends on how it's received. I love you guys. Take back your consciousness. I'm out.